care for the next generation fails.
Yes, Davos 2025, the person who posted this, Dr. Eve, is clearly upset that Trump won and people are waking up to the sinister plans of the web, and he is clearly upset that nations want to be sovereign. He says it self-serving and that it undermines collective progress. Hmm. It is important we look into Davos 2025. I'm going to show you a lot of videos, so please stay through to the end.
Care for the next generation fails. We risk depending into self-serving and short-sighted behaviors that undermine collective progress and lead to profound societal and political shifts. To counter the erosion of hope and confidence in our future, we must go beyond reacting just to crisis. We must focus proactively, shaping the future in strategic, innovative, and constructive ways, despite the intense, short-term pressures and problems which we all feel. It is not cynicism or negativism which brings us forward, but practical steps to address the real-world challenges, what we want to do here during.
While America's adversaries, China's in the worst economic position since the 90s, maybe the 70s. Russia's in severe decline. Iran's just lost its empire by proxy. So it's a very unusual time to have an individual that is in no way concerned about or constrained by rule of law. He's made that very clear. And now what is he actually going to do? Is he going to be a dictator? No, I'm not in any way in that camp. But I do think one of the best ways to understand what Trump will do is to understand who pays him. Right? I mean, he flipped on TikTok. He was one of the first people that was opposed to TikTok, but he shifted because Jeff Yass and other investors paid him. And that's a good way to get Trump to do what he wants you to do. And we are seeing that. We saw it on the stage last night at the inauguration, and we'll see it at Davos, of course, but we'll also see it with all of the different leaders that are or aren't responding to the demands that he's making. The best way to get it done is not align your foreign policy with America strategically. It's not support U.S.-led multilateral institutions that he's not committed to. It's pay Trump. And by the way, there's now new crypto that allows you to do that. And by the way, I was critical when Hunter Biden launched his crypto coin too, which he didn't do, right, for a reason, because it's unprecedented. This is not, if India was doing this, we would say they were a kleptocracy. If Modi was on the phone with a head of state and Elon Musk showed up, we'd say this is a banana republic. But because it's the United States and it's Trump with Elon, it's actually the new way of doing things. I accept that that many of us will be complicit. I accept that many of us will find a way to get on with that, but that doesn't mean it's normal, right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And because, final point for me, because Trump is not going to be here for long, I mean, in part because he's 78, but in part because he only gets 4 years, right? Then everyone that has done this is going to have to deal with the fact that next will be something else. And you're going to have to figure out.
Yes, the World Economic Forum started a year ago. What I observe with these people, Trump, they are calling his name nearly on all segment. Especially Trump taking a decision to withdraw from World Health Organization and this Paris Agreement. These people seem not to be happy with this. I decided to take this clip and summarize what is going on in Davos so you can see exactly what they are doing. Yes, Elon Musk responded to this man, shame on him. At the World Economic Forum, Olaf, the German Chancellor, just said that Elon Musk should know Germany, Europe, freedom of speech doesn't accept extreme right position. You can't be talking about freedom of speech at the same time you don't want freedom of speech. That is what I've observed with what he said on this video. When you are talking about freedom of speech, be able to talk about freedom of speech, it should not be limited. So some people don't have the right to express themselves or what exactly. Recently, Elon Musk is under heat from all sides. I have observed that over and over. It is important. I cut across what is happening at the World Economic Forum.
So on the question of the dealing of Elon Musk, I had a lot of things to comment in the past because he was discussing a lot about Europe. And just to repeat what I already said, we have the freedom of speech in Europe and in Germany. Everyone can say what he wants, even if he is a billionaire. And what we do not accept is if this is supporting extreme right positions. And that is what I would like to repeat again.
But I do think the U.S.-China relationship is probably the one that is most problematic to get a deal. I think that we are heading towards a trade war and towards a more strategic decoupling of the economies. One reason for that is because Trump isn't just focusing on tariffs on China, but he's also focusing on third countries where there are pass-throughs to the U.S. The only way the Chinese economy is succeeding right now is through their $1 trillion export surplus. And so you see Trump and his team focusing a lot on Mexico and India and Vietnam. The other conversations they're having bilaterally, one of the top priorities is squeeze China coming in. That's very hard for China to respond to. You've already seen Sheinbaum in Mexico. That's been her top priority. Before she meets with them, we've got a Mexico plan that is going to take the Chinese out, right? So I think that makes it much harder. And I also think China's complicated. And Graham knows this well. I mean, the only reason we've stabilized U.S.-China relations in the last year and a half is because there are 25 high-level cabinet-to-cabinet bilats.
Yes, I don't know why this sounds different to these people. When Trump came in his first term, he did the same thing. Coming to take this decision is something he made it clear during his campaign, and he is just maintaining what he said he would do. So melting down like this is something I understand. If you notice through all the segment on this video, they always end by calling Trump's name. It is like everything about World Economic Forum 2025 is centered around him. They are threatened by Trump. That is just what I can say based on my observations. I've not really gone far into what is happening in Davos 2025, but I'm going to make sure that we follow it all through so you can see what they discuss in this place. And I'll be doing selective clips, not just all kind of videos. I'll be reporting.
This is the United States of America. And I don't care what Elon Musk is doing behind a presidential seal. In this country, we hate Nazis. Kind of like a foundational defining thing. Two of probably the most foundational defining things about American history is that we beat the Confederates and we beat the Nazis. And I don't know what side people may be on today, but I still am not rocking with anyone sympathetic to Nazis. And I will do that until I am 6 feet in the ground. Like, kind of foundational to me as a human being. And so if you're cool and want to defend the Sig Heils and the Nazi salutes, all the whatever you want to do, that's on you. I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm not with the Nazis. How about that? I mean, but it's very important for us to assert these things.
Yes, you can see the coordinated effort these people are struggling to pull Elon Musk in. Within the space of 1 month, the attacks this guy is receiving extremely concerning. When I look at this and what the World Economic Forum is now putting about Elon Musk and the attacks, Democrats are pulling up on him.
Well, you tried to steal it from A short time ago, President Joe Biden greeted Mr. and Mrs. Trump.
Worry. Also attending were all those people who warned Americans to shun this wannabe fascist dictator called Trump. Look at me, Ma. Oh, let's go see Hitler and get a quick selfie first. Hello, look at us.
His own bootstraps.
Yeah.
And so in thinking about that, and Donald Trump saying things that this country would be a meritocracy, you're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
Yes, when I watch these people cry on social media, partaking to the executive orders, in fact, everything went well. Look at Jon Stewart. I think I'm going to do a whole segment where you will see exactly what actually went on this segment. Sonny Austin, on the other hand, say Trump was not elected. In fact, this lady is not. I hope you heard her. I want to end the video by saying this for people who have been following me. You realize at the end of the day, I usually put videos at the end. This is for the algorithm. If you see this, you can skip. You can watch the video to a certain level and stop.
Where awful things have happened. So
Over. And spark smooth things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
Or a funky in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane, started getting texts.
So I am evacuating my home.
What we need to do against what we know is right. And these are the results.
Trump is now calling that Gavin Newsom should step down.
This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour winds.
The situation is beyond control.
For the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking straight, remember it.
as a country about James.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad.
I want to be
Jim Jordan.
In the 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some.
And then we watch the news or talk to my friends.
Wrong with the American people, but I want to know